Good morning, my family and community. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening Canning Recipes. A little bit of everything. Back in the kitchen today because it's cold and rainy. This week we have had all 4 seasons. We have had winter, spring, summer, and fall. In the last 3 days we've been back in winter. Earlier in the week we got up to 90 degrees. Tomorrow we're going to be back in the springtime, 77 degrees. We've been so busy getting our seed starts going and trying to get ahead of all these weather changes and expected hot summer. So we're trying to get planted early so we can harvest early and then do some things for fall. But today we are canning chicken, and for you beginners, this is the easiest thing and one of the most economical things that you can can to put in your pantry. And why do you want canned chicken in your pantry? Because you can use it for anything. You can use it for chicken soup, chicken noodle soup, chicken fajitas, chicken quesadillas, chicken enchiladas. It is a very versatile thing to can up for your pantry. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that today. And I'm going to talk to you about the cost of it first. So get your canning supplies out. We're going to be using the Denali canner today. The more I use this, the more I'm liking it. And I'll tell you some of the reasons why as we get started. But first, let's move over here to the cost of canned chicken. So Troyer has been one of our favorite canned chickens to keep on hand. It has a great shelf life and it's great consistency and it's great quality. But this Troyer chicken costs anywhere from $5.50 a can to $6.50 a can, depending on where you get it. And then you have your Costco and your Sam type chicken. Oh, this is 14.5 ounces. This is 12.5 ounces. And this is about $4 a can. And then we also were buying the Merrick canned chicken for our dogs. We have 2 very large dogs and we use it to mix with their kibbles because we do not free feed our dogs and we want them to eat at certain times of the day, and adding a little bit of moist dog food helps them to eat pretty quick. And that, the Merrick canned chicken for dogs was running about $3.50 to $3.75 a can, depending on where you get it. Or the blue homestyle chicken. Now they don't like this as much as they do the Merrick, but guys, we've gotten away from all of that. And why have we gotten away from that and saving ourselves about $150, $200 a month? Because we are canning our own chicken. So I've given you the cost of all of these, and then this is some of the chicken that I canned up for our dogs a couple of weeks ago. There's no difference to what I'm canning up for the dogs or what I'm canning up for us, so I can use it either way. I'm not adding anything to it except maybe a little bit of canning salt. So we can use it, or we can use it to feed our dogs, or we can use it to make some of those yummy recipes I was talking to you about. And this, guys, is costing us about $1 a jar. So let me show you the kind of chicken that we use to can up. And so get your canner ready and get ready to learn how to can chicken. So at our local grocery store, this 10-pound bag of leg quarters runs consistently about $6.99. And when they put it on sale, it's around $5.99. I know that Kroger carries these, guys, and I know that Albertsons carries these. So we've got 10 pounds of chicken right here that we're fixing to can up. You're going to need a large stock pot, guys. So we've got this very large stainless steel, and we're going to cover our chicken completely with water. Again, we're not adding anything to it. So we're going to go ahead and fill this up. We want it covered, and we're going to put it on the stove and boil it, and then we're going to use the broth that it makes as the liquid that we're going to can these with. You can see that's a lot of chicken. So we've got this turned up on high. We're going to go ahead and boil this. Now, guys, you can also use these leg quarters to make chicken noodle soup if that's something you want to do. I've done that too in the past, and I have quite a few over there. And you could also break this up into 2 days. We're going to go ahead and do this all today in one step, or a couple of steps all in one day, so that we're going to get this completed. Now, if you wanted to do this in 2 steps, you could go ahead and cook up your chicken, and then you could put it in the fridge overnight and turn around and heat it up tomorrow if you wanted to. And then go ahead and get it canned. But we want to get this done today. So while this is cooking, we're going to get our jars prepared. We're going to use pint jars. And so you want to make sure that they are clean and get them ready. Get all your canning supplies ready, which is your funnel, your magnet. We're going to add a little bit of canning salt and our debubbler. Let me get my tongs over there ready. We're going to set everything out and get it ready to go. And we're also using the Denali lids, and I'm going to tell you why I like those as well. So we use the traditional lids like everybody else does, but Denali reached out to us and asked us to do a review on their lids. And I'm pretty pleased with them, and I'm going to show you. I'm not going to show you which the competitor's brand is, but I'm going to show you the difference, and you tell me if you can see anything. So here are the two lids. This is the competitor, and this is Denali. I will tell you that Denali is a little bit thicker than the competitor, and I will tell you that the rubber gasket around this lid seems to be more heavy duty. Now I know that there had been some issues with Denali in the past, but they have gone out and done some research. People were complaining about them buckling during the canning process, but they seem to have remedied that pretty well. So we are using the Denali lids. I'm very pleased with them. And again, see if you can see the difference. They do feel a tad bit thicker and a little bit more heavy duty, which is very important to us because even though the jars and the lids only guarantee what you can for 18 months, guys, we have eaten things that I've canned over 5 years ago and they're just fine. So it's very important that we have good lids that's going to keep sealed for when we need to go ahead and open up our canned goods. So we have 3 wide mouths and we have 4 regular mouth jars ready. I'm not going to put the lids in hot water because we are canning all this today. It's going to be a very quick process. However, if I was canning something like tomorrow, if I decided to keep this chicken cold and then just put it in the canner and ramp it up or heat it up prior, I would go ahead and heat these lids up and put them on hot so that they would seal. But again, this is going to be a very quick process. Once this chicken is done, we're going to be packing these jars and putting them right in our canner. So the closer that this gets to being ready, I will start to turn on my water with this Denali canner and heat it up so that I can go right from packing into the canner, and then we can crank it up. And again, we're going to talk more about what I like about this Denali canner. Okay guys, so that took about an hour, maybe about an hour and 10 minutes for this chicken to cook. So we don't want to put the skin in our jars, so we're going to have to go ahead and get it skinned, and we're going to have to get this chicken off the bone, and then we'll save the skin and the bones and make a chicken bone broth, which is one of our favorite things to do. So I've got my canner heating up over here. I've got my hot broth over here. So once I get this chicken deboned and put in here, I'm going to go ahead and pack my jars. Now guys, this is called the hot pack method because we're doing everything hot. Now it's time to get to canning, guys. So first we're going to pack our jars with our chicken. I was thinking as I was making this, as I was shredding it, this would also be good for a quick chicken salad. Now you can do this with a whole chicken, you can do this with chicken breast, chicken thighs, chicken legs, and we're using the chicken quarters. Now I did go ahead and put 1/4 teaspoon of canning salt already in each jar, so we're ready there. I'm going to do a couple of these jars for you, and then I'll finish up so I don't take up a lot of your time. This, again, guys, is one of the easiest things to can. So I have my big old batch of broth here. It is hot still. Find my debubbler over here somewhere. Here we go. You want to debubble. You don't want to pack these too tight because you want to make sure that during the canning process that the internal contents of the chicken comes up to speed here. We're going to add just a little bit more broth. You want to leave about an inch head space. So let's take a gander at this. I can add a little bit more. That puts us exactly where, yes. So then you want to take a little bit of white vinegar on a paper towel and you want to wipe your rims. There's a couple of reasons why. You're inspecting the rims for any cracks, but you also want to get a good seal. And this chicken has some fat in it, so you know that that could cause a seal to not take. You're going to do finger tight, and I'm going to put this over here in my hot canner. We're going to do the same with this one. So we're going to process these pints for 75 minutes. Let's get to debubbling here and see what we got going on. See where we're at. We can add a little bit more broth. That should do us. We're going to wipe down these rims. Put our lid on. Finger tight. And put it in our canner. So we're going to repeat this process until all of our jars are full. Stay tuned. We have the canner loaded up. I've got 1, 2, 3, I got 6 pints ready to go. So now we're going to talk about what I like about this Denali canner. We're going to lock it down. I'm going to bring the heat up. And whereas with traditional canners, you have to let it vent for 10 minutes once it starts to steam. But with this Denali canner, and this is why it's so great for beginning canners, is we can go ahead and put our weight on here, because this has an automatic self steamer, and I've used it several times and it does work. So this is going to cut down some time of that 10 minutes, because this is going to gauge that automatically for you, and it will start here and it will steam, and once it reaches the proper pressure inside the canner, this will shut itself off and it will start the pressure canning process. And so I really do like that. I like that, not having to time, not having to sit here and time once it starts steaming and set a timer for 10 minutes. This is going to do that for me. So we're going to let it start to come up to steam, and I'll show you what I mean. So while we're waiting on that to come up to pressure, I'm going to go ahead and put my bones in a freezer bag, and I'm going to pop them in the freezer, because this is what I'm going to use to make my bone broth. And I did put out several videos out there, guys, a couple of years ago on how to make chicken bone broth. It is one of the most healthiest things that you can do. It is great for adding to your soups and stews, or just drinking if you're not feeling well. So I'm going to put this in a freezer bag, and then this broth here I'm going to save overnight, because I'm going to start this chicken bone broth tomorrow, and I'll use that broth, and it will make it taste a little bit more richer than just popping this in some filtered water in my crock pot with all my veggies that I make my bone broth with. So that's going to give it a little bit more kick. So you can hear it starting to come up to speed, and you can see where the steam is coming out of this self-venting canner. So another thing I like about this canner is it sets directly on a glass top or a flat top stove. This is designed for flat top and glass top stoves. It seems to not have the lip on the bottom like some of the other canners do, so the heat is really condensed. It's also shorter, guys, not as deep, so it comes up to pressure much quicker. It didn't take quite 10 minutes for it to self-vent. So any time that we can save on doing canning, because it can be a lengthy process, is important, and will take however many minutes. So we're going to can this at 11 pounds for 75 minutes. Be sure and check your area for the correct poundage when you're doing your canning, but for us it's at about 11 pounds. So we're going to bring this up to 11 pounds, and then we're going to set our timer for 75 minutes. So yeah, I am enjoying this. At first I was a little uncertain, but I do think I like this Denali canner quite a bit, and I do know that I like their lids. So we're moving up to 11 pounds pretty quick here. We're going to get our timer ready. Okay guys, so we're holding steady. A little over 11 pounds, I'm fine with that. I don't mind if it goes a pound over, just don't want it to go under. But I think you're going to start to see more of these Denali canners, especially for beginners. It does take a lot of the guesswork out for you. And again, I can't rave enough about that self-venting, and I can't rave enough about it that it's for a flat top stove. So although they're up and coming, I think you're going to start to see them more, and I think you're going to see them come up in the ranks in the competition of the other popular canners. So we're going to let this go. We've got about 65 more minutes. When this is complete, I'll show you what you need to do. Stay tuned. 0. Not making any more steam sounds, guys. That's very important. So now we're going to take the lid off and see what we got. Okay guys, we have completed our canning process. You can see I've got 6 pints. Now this puts me up to 85 pints for my 365 canning challenge. And if you haven't heard that term before, guys, we engaged and challenged our community and our subscribers to can 365 jars of food for 2023. I know many of you have already probably exceeded that. If not, I know that you're at least halfway there. So we are continuing on this this challenge. We're excited about it. So again, this gives me 85 jars for our pantry. Stay tuned. At the end of this video, I'm going to showcase some of your goods. Now, I didn't get everybody's because I'm getting quite a bit, guys. Continue to send them to me, and I'm taking the oldest ones first and adding them to my videos. So again, if you don't see yours in here, you'll see it in the next video. Hadn't gotten around to canning the carrots yet because I'm still waiting to get more carrots. I want to do a pretty big batch. I don't want to do just a couple of jars. So anyway, stay tuned for that. As soon as I get enough carrots harvested, I'll be canning up carrots. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for this showcase of your goods. Take care, God bless, and we'll see you soon.